A group of 5 friends, Laura, Josh, Erica, Tom, and Sam, arrive at the outskirts of a dense, eerie forest known for its strange happenings. The forest, surrounded by local legends, is rumored to be cursed, but the friends are undeterred, eager to set up camp for a weekend getaway. As they set up their tents and light a fire, the peaceful surroundings seem too perfect, but the heavy silence of the forest sets the tone for something more sinister. Unknown to them, they are being watched. Deep in the heart of the forest lies a place shrouded in mystery. For years, locals have whispered about the strange happenings within these woods, where the air is unnaturally still and the trees seem to watch your every move. A group of friends has come to experience the woods for themselves, unaware of the dark history that binds them to it. The sound of an engine cutting off, the car pulling into a gravel campsite. The wind rustles through the trees, creating an unsettling silence as the group begins unloading. Laura, excited and unaware, voice light. "This place is amazing. I can't believe we're finally here. Look at how peaceful it is. No one around, just the forest and us." The sound of laughter as Laura steps out of the car, stretching. The rest of the group follows suit, unloading camping gear. Josh, looking around, trying to dismiss the unease, voice casual but with a hint of doubt. "Yeah, it's beautiful, but it's a little too quiet, don't you think? Like, no animals or insects. It's almost like the forest is holding its breath." The camera pans across the campsite, showing an empty and silent expanse of woods. The trees loom tall and foreboding. Erica, laughing off the tension, voice carefree. "Oh, come on, Josh. It's just the wilderness. You're overthinking it. Let's set up camp and enjoy the weekend." The sound of tent poles being set up, the rustle of bags and camping supplies. Erica's voice is confident, but her nervous energy still seeps through. Tom, trying to make light of the situation, voice teasing. "I bet you $100 we'll hear some creepy noises tonight, and someone will get spooked. Just wait, the stories will start flying." The sound of the fire crackling as they gather around the campfire. The first few flames light up the darkness, casting long shadows. Sam, staring at the trees, his voice quiet but thoughtful. "I don't know, guys. I've heard stories about this place. They say the forest is cursed, that people disappear. I'm just saying be careful." A cold breeze sweeps through the trees, making the branches creak. The camera zooms in on Sam's face, his eyes scanning the dark woods. Laura, dismissing the fear, laughing but with a slight edge. "Come on, Sam. It's just a bunch of old stories. We're here to have fun, not to get paranoid. What are you, the camp counselor now?" The group chuckles as the camera shifts to show the darkening sky above the forest. The air is still, the temperature dropping. As the group sets up camp, the forest around them remains eerily silent, as though it's waiting for something or someone. They are unaware that they are being watched by something that is not of this world, something that has lingered in the woods for generations. Would you be brave enough to camp in a place like this? Could you survive the strange and haunting woods? Let us know in the comments below if you dare to spend the night here. The whispering grows fainter as the camera cuts to black, the eerie silence taking over. Focus on the group setting up their tents, unaware of the dark presence lurking just beyond the firelight. The shadows in the forest seem to shift and move. The group, unsettled by the fleeting appearance of the woman in white, tries to shake off the eerie encounter and continue with their camping plans. But the forest's oppressive quiet becomes increasingly unnerving. As the hours pass, they begin to feel as though they're being watched. Paranoia slowly creeping into their minds. Erica, now more certain of what she saw, insists they pack up and leave. But the others, still trying to rationalize the experience, are reluctant. However, the whispers from the trees and the growing unease suggest that something far worse is waiting for them. As the fire crackles in the center of the campsite, the tension among the group grows. The whisper of leaves, once accompanying sound, now seems to carry a darker tone. Someone has been watching them, and the more they try to ignore it, the more the forest closes in around them. The sound of the fire crackling loudly, the forest now unnervingly silent except for the occasional gust of wind. The camera pans over the group, their faces tense and uneasy. Erica, voice trembling but firm, still looking toward the trees. We need to leave. Right now. I saw her. She was there, standing in the trees. She's watching us. The camera zooms in on Erica's face, her eyes wide with fear. She glances over her shoulder, half expecting the woman in white to appear again. The wind rustles the leaves around them. Josh, attempting to comfort Erica, but with a hint of unease. It's just your imagination, Erica. There's nothing out there. You saw a reflection, or a trick of the light. Let's just enjoy the night, okay? The camera follows Josh's eyes, scanning the dark forest. The shadows seem to move unnaturally, as if something is shifting in the distance. Tom, voice filled with reluctant amusement, trying to break the tension. Come on, guys. We're getting spooked by a shadow in the woods. There's no such thing as ghosts. Just relax and have fun. This is what camping's all about. The sound of Tom chuckling, but it's a forced laugh. He looks over at Erica, trying to keep things light, but his eyes betray his unease. Erica, voice rising with desperation. No, it wasn't a shadow. I saw her clearly, and she was staring at me. Her face. It was covered in shadows, but I could feel her looking at me. I'm not going to stay here. I'm leaving. The camera zooms in on Erica, her eyes wide with panic. The wind picks up, making the fire flicker and cast eerie shadows on her face. Sam, voice calm but serious, looking toward the dark woods. Look, I know this is creepy, but we're not going to get anywhere by panicking. Let's just sit tight, wait it out, and leave in the morning. Nothing's going to happen. We're just overthinking it. The camera pans to Sam, his face a mix of skepticism and concern. The shadows in the trees seem to stretch unnaturally, but he doesn't notice. Josh, more uncertain now, voice quieter. Yeah, but what if something is out there? What if we're not alone? The sound of distant whispering, faint but distinct. It feels like the wind itself is murmuring something indecipherable. The camera focuses on Josh's face, his doubt growing as the air becomes thick with unease. Erica, voice panicked, looking over her shoulder. I don't want to stay here anymore. I hear it. Someone's whispering my name. Can't you hear it? The sound of whispering grows louder in the wind, barely audible at first, then becoming clearer, almost like a soft, female voice calling out. The camera zooms in on Erica's face, her eyes darting nervously as she looks around. Sam, his voice now hesitant, as the whispers become more pronounced. I hear it too, but it's just the wind, right? There's no one else out here. The camera shows the trees, their branches swaying violently, but there's no visible movement. The whispers grow louder, and the atmosphere thickens with tension. Narrator, building suspense. The air grows thick with whispers, and the wind grows restless, as though something is stirring deep within the forest. The campers, once confident in their surroundings, now realize that they are not alone. The presence they felt watching them grows stronger, more palpable. It's as if the forest itself is alive, its eyes hidden in the shadows, waiting for them to make the first move. The whispers intensify. The camera pans over the forest, the branches stretching toward the campsite like fingers, the shadows of the trees shifting with unnatural speed. Erica, voice trembling, backing away from the fire. She's out there. I can feel it. She's coming closer. The sound of Erica's footsteps as she stumbles backward, eyes fixed on the dark forest. The wind howls, and the leaves rustle loudly, like footsteps approaching. Tom, voice uneasy, now standing up and scanning the trees. This is insane. We need to stop this and get some sleep. If we keep worrying about ghosts, we'll drive ourselves crazy. Tom looks toward the trees, but the shadows move quickly, disappearing as he blinks. The camera shows his face, filled with confusion and doubt. Josh, voice rising with panic, looking at the shadows. I can't shake this feeling. We're not alone. I saw something moving in the trees, something watching us. Background. The camera zooms in on Josh's face, his eyes wide with fear. The whispers grow louder and the camera shifts to the dark forest, where movement flickers in the shadows. In the silence of the woods, the shadows begin to grow darker, stretching impossibly long. The whispering voices merge into one, a soft, chilling cry. And just as the group begins to retreat into the safety of the campfire's warmth, they realize something or someone is closing in. The woman in white, the spirit that has haunted these woods for centuries, is coming for them. The whispers crescendo, the wind howling, and the ground beneath them shakes. The fire flickers wildly, casting sharp shadows on the faces of the campers. What do you think is out there in the woods? Is it the woman in white, or something even more sinister? Let us know your theories in the comments below. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button to stay updated on the next chapter of this haunting tale. The screen fades to black, the whispers still lingering in the background as the camera cuts to black. The quiet has become unbearable, and the sense of being watched is impossible to shake. As the evening wears on, the campers' nerves are stretched thin. The quiet that initially felt peaceful is now suffocating, and Erica's earlier encounter with the figure in white begins to haunt the group. Erica, convinced she's not imagining things, becomes more desperate. The others are starting to wonder whether something is truly out there, or if the forest itself is playing tricks on them. The tension rises as strange occurrences begin to unfold, and the line between paranoia and reality blurs. Narrator, tense and chilling. The night stretches on and the air thickens with dread. The forest, once a place of adventure, now feels like a prison of shadows. Every snap of a twig, every rustle of the leaves, seems to carry a hidden threat. As the campers sit around the fire, they cannot shake the feeling that something is closing in on them. But the forest remains eerily quiet. Too quiet. The camera zooms in on the group, sitting around the campfire. Their faces are filled with anxiety as they glance nervously at the trees around them. The fire crackles loudly, but the forest beyond is dead silent. Erica, voice shaking with unease, staring into the trees. I can't stand this anymore. Something's out there, watching us. I can feel it. Feel her. That woman in white. She's not just a ghost. She's waiting for us. Erica's voice trembles with fear as she looks into the darkness of the trees. The camera focuses on her wide, frightened eyes, darting nervously between the trees. Josh tries to remain calm, but his voice is laced with unease. Erica, you need to relax. I've heard these kinds of stories before. Local legends. Just tales to scare you. There's nothing out there. The camera shows Josh's attempt to reassure Erica, but his hands tremble slightly as he fidgets with a stick in the fire. The camera shifts to show the dark forest beyond him, where nothing moves but the shadows. Tom, voice a little too forced. Try to break the tension. Yeah, man, it's just your imagination. We're here to have fun, right? Don't let some creepy stories ruin it for you. The camera zooms in on Tom, his voice laced with nervous energy. He chuckles, but it feels hollow. The wind picks up, causing the trees to sway ominously. Sam, voice quiet but intense, looking into the trees. But what if it's not just a story? I mean, there's something off about this place. I can feel it. I can't stop thinking about the stories, the ones about people who vanish in these woods. The camera lingers on Sam, his face serious now. The sound of a faint, distant whisper can be heard in the background, almost like a soft call. Erica, voice desperate, standing up from her seat and backing away from the fire. I'm telling you, it's real. I saw her again, standing in the trees, just watching us. You don't understand. She's coming for us. The camera follows Erica's frantic movements as she steps back from the fire, her eyes locked on the trees. The whispering sound grows louder, and the shadows in the forest seem to move closer. Josh, his voice now hesitant, realizing the intensity of the situation. Erica, we're all feeling on edge, but we have to stay calm. We're safe here, right? The camera shifts to Josh's face, his earlier confidence now wavering as he glances around, his eyes darting nervously at the forest. But no one can shake the feeling that they are not alone. The forest feels alive, watching them, waiting for them to make a mistake. The quiet, once peaceful, now seems like a predator's lullaby. And in the distance, the faintest sound of footsteps on the forest floor begins to echo in the silence, though no one is there. The camera shifts back to the forest, where the shadows flicker as though something is moving just beyond the trees. The wind picks up again, but it carries an unsettling whisper. Sam, voice now shaky, but trying to stay calm. Guys, I swear I heard something. It's not just the wind. There's someone out there, someone watching us. The camera shifts, showing a darker portion of the woods where the shadows seem to stretch unnaturally long. The wind grows louder, almost like a scream, and the fire flickers out for a moment, leaving the group in near darkness. Erica, voice breaking, her fear palpable. There's no mistaking it. She's here. She's watching us. I saw her again, right there, just standing in the trees. The camera zooms in on Erica's panicked face, her eyes wide with terror as she stares into the blackness of the trees. The whispers grow louder, filling the air around them. The forest stillness grows deafening, but the whispers grow louder, more insistent. The woman in white, once a mere shadow in the trees, now emerges from the depths of the darkness. The campers, trapped in the heart of the forest, begin to understand that this is no mere tale. The silent woman is real, and she is coming for them. The rustling of leaves grows louder, and a faint figure can be seen at the edge of the tree line. The whispers intensify, now unmistakable as a woman's voice, calling out to the campers. Josh, his voice trembling, standing up abruptly. I can't do this anymore. We need to leave. Now! The sound of Josh's footsteps as he rushes to gather his things, but the wind howls louder. The camera shifts to show the woman in white standing at the edge of the trees, her face still hidden in the shadows, but her presence unmistakable. But as they scramble to gather their belongings and flee, they realize it's too late. The forest has already claimed them. The woman in white has come for her revenge. And now, the real horror begins. The sound of a low, menacing growl fills the air as the camera zooms out to show the group trying to run. The figure of the woman in white moves with them, silent and swift. What do you think will happen to the group? Can they escape the vengeful woman in the woods, or will they become her next victims? Comment below with your theories. And don't forget to subscribe to see what happens next. After a restless night filled with uneasy silence and haunting whispers, the group sets out the next morning to continue their camping trip. They try to push past the eerie events from the previous night, but the strange, oppressive atmosphere in the forest seems to follow them. As they trek deeper into the woods, Erica sees the woman in white again, standing at a distance. This time, there's no mistaking it. She's real. But when Erica calls out, the woman vanishes into the trees. Despite their attempts to dismiss it, the unease in the air grows stronger. The group must now face the reality that they are being watched by something far more dangerous than they could have imagined. Narrator, eerie, and suspenseful. The morning light filters weakly through the canopy above, but the forest is still heavy with an unnatural silence. The campers, determined to push past the terror of the night before, venture further into the woods. But something stirs in the shadows, watching them, waiting for the right moment to strike. The sound of birds chirping faintly in the distance, but there's still a sense of quiet oppression. The camera focuses on the campers, walking through the dense trees, their faces full of uncertainty. Erica, voice trembling but resolute. We need to stay close. I don't care what you guys think. I saw her again. I know I did. The camera zooms in on Erica's anxious expression as she looks around the trees. Her eyes dart nervously, scanning the shadows. Josh, dismissive but with growing concern, trying to stay rational. Erica, come on. It's just your mind playing tricks on you. There's no one out here but us. We're fine. The camera follows Josh as he walks confidently, though his steps become more hesitant with each glance toward the forest. The wind picks up, rustling the leaves. Sam, cautious but curious, glancing at the trees. I don't know, man. There's something off about this place. It doesn't feel right. I've been feeling like we're being watched all day. The camera focuses on Sam's face, his brow furrowed in concern as he looks back toward the thickening woods. The trees seem to close in around them, shadows shifting unnaturally. Tom, laughing nervously. Try and keep the mood light. It's just a couple of creepy trees, guys. I'm sure we've all seen our fair share of horror movies. This is no different. Tom chuckles, but his eyes keep darting nervously to the surrounding forest. His voice is strained, betraying his nervousness. Erica, voice shaky, stopping in her tracks and pointing ahead. There! I see her again. In the trees, just standing there. Do you see her? The camera shifts to show the shadowy figure in the distance, barely visible at first. A woman in white, standing motionless between the trees, her face hidden in the shadows. Josh, his voice uncertain, trying to convince himself. It's just another trick of the light. There's nothing there, Erica. You're just freaked out. The camera follows Josh's gaze as he squints into the distance. The figure remains motionless, but when Josh blinks, it seems to vanish into the trees. Erica, voice filled with growing terror, now backing away. No, she's real. I saw her move. I'm not crazy. The camera zooms in on Erica's face, her eyes wide with fear. She takes a step back, her breathing quickening as she glances frantically around the trees. Tom, voice now faltering, trying to calm Erica. Erica, stop. Just breathe. There's nothing out there. We're okay. The camera shifts to show Tom's face, his voice filled with unease as he glances nervously over his shoulder at the darkening forest. The wind picks up, the sound growing louder. Narrator, increasing the tension. But it's too late. The forest has already begun to change. The air grows heavier, the shadows deeper. And in the distance, the woman in white watches them, her presence undeniable. No one can deny it now. There is something in the woods, something that has been waiting for them to stumble into its grasp. The camera pans out to show the dense forest surrounding the group. The whisper of the wind grows louder, mingling with the eerie sound of distant footsteps. The group, visibly shaken, glances over their shoulders, but the figure is gone again. Erica, voice frantic, her words tumbling out in a rush. I'm telling you, she was there. I saw her. Why is no one else seeing this? Erica turns around, her face panicked as she tries to make sense of the situation. Her voice quivers, and she starts to walk back toward the campsite, eyes darting nervously. Josh, voice growing more cautious, his disbelief beginning to crack. All right. Maybe you're right. But why does she keep disappearing? Why doesn't she come closer? Josh hesitates, glancing into the woods where the figure was last seen. The camera zooms in on the trees, the shadows stretching unnaturally, the woman's presence faint but palpable. Tom, voice growing more worried, now visibly uncomfortable. I don't know, man. This doesn't feel like a coincidence. I think we need to get out of here. Something's wrong. Tom's face now mirrors his concern. His eyes scan the forest, the shadows seeming to move with him. The sound of the wind intensifies, almost like a low growl. The silent woman in the woods watches them, her eyes hidden in the shadows, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. She is no mere ghost. She is a force of vengeance, and the group has unknowingly entered her domain. The closer they get to uncovering the truth, the deeper they fall into her trap. The sound of faint whispering fills the air as the camera cuts to a close-up of the dark trees. The woman's face, though still obscured, is faintly visible in the shadows, her eyes burning with anger. Erica, voice strained and filled with desperation, urging the group to leave. We have to leave now, before it's too late. This place is cursed. I can feel it. Erica's voice breaks as she starts walking quickly toward the campsite. The wind howls, pushing the branches of the trees toward them like grasping hands. The camera follows her, but the shadows seem to close in. They cannot escape. The forest is alive, and it has claimed them. With every step they take, the woman in white draws closer. The silent woman's curse will not be lifted until her anger is avenged, and she will stop at nothing to make them pay. The camera zooms in on the group's faces as they make their way back to camp, their expressions filled with fear. The sound of footsteps behind them echoes ominously. Do you believe in the woman in white? Is she a ghost? Or is something darker lurking in these woods? What will happen next? Leave your theories in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for the next part of this chilling tale. As the group continues to deal with the unsettling events in the forest, their bond begins to fray. The whispers and eerie sightings grow stronger, but no one can explain them. Sam, increasingly frustrated with the fear and paranoia creeping into the group, decides to venture off alone to get some fresh air. But as the group sits by the fire, they realize he's been gone for longer than expected. When they search for him, they find only eerie footprints leading deeper into the woods, with no sign of Sam. Panic sets in as they realize something or someone has taken him. Once a place of adventure and fun, now feels like a vast, living entity, consuming everything in its path. As night falls once again, the group tries to settle their nerves, but the darkness seems to deepen with every passing minute. Sam, frustrated with the tension, decides to step away, but he never returns. Something has taken him, and the forest holds its secrets tightly, unwilling to let him go. The sound of the fire crackling, the campers sitting together in a tight circle. The camera lingers on their anxious faces, the flickering flames casting long, dancing shadows on their faces. The eerie quiet of the forest is punctuated only by the occasional rustle of leaves. Tom, voice shaky, tried to appear nonchalant. "It's just Sam. He probably want to get some air. You know how he is, always storming off when things get too tense." Tom laughs nervously, trying to lighten the mood, but his eyes betray his growing concern. The camera shifts to show the empty clearing, and the fire flickers as if responding to his nervous energy. Josh, growing more concerned, voice lower. "He's been gone for over an hour. I don't like this. What if something happened to him?" The camera focuses on Josh, his brow furrowed, glancing nervously into the trees. The forest feels larger now, almost suffocating. The quiet is unnerving. Erica, voice filled with worry, standing up suddenly. "I'm going to look for him. This isn't like Sam. Something's not right." Background. Erica's voice is filled with tension as she stands up quickly, glancing nervously at the forest. The camera follows her as she starts to walk toward the edge of the campsite, her footsteps quick and uncertain. Sam, distant and faint, the camera zooms in on his last known position. "Guys, where are you?" Sam's voice echoes from the woods, but it sounds distant, disoriented, as if he's already far deep in the forest than they realize. The camera shifts to the trees, the shadows moving unnaturally. Tom, voice cracking with fear, his gaze darting to the trees. "Sam? Sam, where are you?" The camera shifts rapidly between the campers as they begin to search the surrounding woods, their voices filled with fear. The trees loom over them, dark and foreboding. Josh, voice tense, frustration mixing with fear. "This is ridiculous. He can't just disappear. We have to find him now." The sound of frantic footsteps in the underbrush as the group moves through the woods. The forest seems to close in around them, shadows stretching unnaturally long. Erica, voice rising in panic, as she finds something on the ground. "Wait, look at this." These are his footprints. But they stop here. There's nothing, no sign of him. The camera zooms in on the ground, showing large, uneven footprints that trail off into the darkness. They abruptly end at the edge of the thicket, as though Sam had been pulled away. Tom, voice rising with panic. "What the hell? This doesn't make any sense. Where did he go?" The sound of Tom's breathing becomes more frantic, the camera shifting quickly between the group members' faces. The wind picks up again, causing the trees to groan ominously. Erica, voice cracking with fear, stepping backward. I don't like this. There's something out there, and it's not just us. We're not alone in these woods." The camera zooms in on Erica's face, her eyes wide with terror. The shadows seem to move around her, closing in. The night grows darker, the air colder. The footprints, once clear, now seem to twist and shift with each step they take. The forest, once so vast and inviting, has become a labyrinth of terror, leading them deeper into its grasp. Sam is gone, but the echoes of his disappearance linger in the silence of the woods, pulling the group further into the unknown. The camera zooms out, showing the group standing in a circle, their faces filled with terror. The shadows of the trees stretch long, their presence now looming over them. Josh, his voice desperate and trembling. "We have to keep looking. Sam is out there somewhere, and we need to find him. We can't leave without him." The sound of footsteps moving quickly through the forest, the rustling of leaves growing louder. The camera shifts to show the darkening woods ahead, filled with shadows. Erica, voice shaking with a sense of realization. Wait, did you hear that? The whispering? It's coming from the trees. It's not just the wind. A soft whisper fills the air, almost like a faint voice calling out from a forest. It sounds like the words, "Help me," barely audible but unmistakable. Tom, voice breaking, looking around frantically. This isn't happening. We have to leave, now. Something's wrong with this place. The camera shows Tom's face, his eyes wide with fear as the wind grows louder. The whispering grows clearer, more insistent, like an urgent cry. The whispering grows louder as the group moves deeper into the woods. The call for help, faint and distorted, drifts through the trees, urging them forward. But as they chase the sound, they realize they are not looking for Sam anymore. They are being led somewhere into the heart of the forest, into the waiting arms of the silent woman. The camera pans over the group's frantic faces as they continue through the trees. The wind howls, and the whispers seem to echo all around them. The shadows grow darker with every step they take. Where is Sam gone? What is leading them through the woods? Will they find him, or is something far darker waiting for them? Don't forget to leave your theories in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe so you won't miss the next part of this chilling story.